All right, welcome friends. Welcome to your practice. Been thinking about doing this class a little more hatha yoga style again. That's been coming up for me, and the key for hatha yoga is that we're in the posture and we work on certain internal feelings of with breathing and how we carry our body, and we hold the poses a little bit longer. So if we hold the pose a little bit longer, transitions might not be as fluid, but inside a pose, a lot can be happening. So I hope you enjoy it. We've done it before, but we'll see where it takes us. So with that said, let's take our first asana, which is a seated pose. Most of you are already there. You want to make sure both sit bones are level on your prop or your floor, and even the knees or ankles feel kind of grounded so that both hips are neutral. Then just take a few breaths, not even focusing on the breath, but just taking a few breaths to rock back and forth. And so you're starting to get your spine and hips feeling a little bit relaxed relative to your posture. Just sort of notice what's happening in the hips, in the core, in your spine. Maybe now go again a little bit side to side if that helps. Just sort of bringing in some internal awareness, because hatha yoga is about cultivating inner energy and having that heal and nourish and focus the body. So you're already starting to just notice what's present before we make any changes, right? Before we add any energy. Okay, then find some sort of neutral spine and just explore your neck a little bit. Just lift your chin and draw circles with your chin. Go back and forth, big circles, small circles. But I know you're focusing on drawing the circle, but really focus on what's happening in your neck and shoulders. Just sort of awakening and enlivening that energy. Good. Now you're going to come back to a neutral neck. You can take your arms out in a nice V shape. You don't have to be too active yet, just nice V shape. And try to bring your shoulders down your back and drop your chin. And then bring your shoulders up your back. And let's just go back and forth. Down the back. And you might feel some spine articulation. That's wonderful. And up the back. Down the back. And up. Good. Now take your arms across. So give yourself a nice big hug. Close your eyes. Drop your chin. And think that you're sort of pooling the breath in the back of your ribs. So you're going to take deeper, longer breath, filling in the back ribs. Good, now turn and do the same thing. Doesn't matter which way you turn, you'll do the second side in a moment. And notice the difference. Is it more difficult to breathe here, easier? Push the breath into the posture. Okay, change your arms and turn the other direction. And when you're breathing, try to push the breath where it's available. Where can you expand the breath in this shape? Good, let's come back to center. You're gonna put those hands behind you, either on that prop or on the floor behind you, and push down or pull with your arms so you feel the cross the chest starting to open. And we don't just want to protrude our ribs forward, but rather arc and open and broaden. Yeah, that looks good. And now, again, breathe and harmoniously weave full breaths into the shape. Concentrate on making your breath long and smooth. And come back to center. Change the cross of your legs, other shin in front, and practice Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath has a rhythm to it. Now, I know as soon as I stop telling you to do it, you're going to stop doing it, but you can do this the entire class. Ujjayi breath. Just go ahead and pretend like you're fogging a mirror. Just go. You hear how it kind of constricts the throat. It makes that sound like the ocean. Some people say Darth Vader. You're gonna do the same thing, but only through your nose. So fog a mirror, but close your mouth so the air comes out your nose. 2 more times, just on the exhale. Fog a mirror with your mouth closed. Now do the same thing. Keep that constriction feeling as you inhale. So inhale and exhale has that sound in your throat. Don't overwork. Don't strain your throat, but it's a great way to smooth your breath, deepen your breath, and help keep you a meditative focus through your practice. So one more time, let's bring our arms out, a little bit lower V shape. We're actually do seated cat cows. So you're gonna pull the elbows back as it brings the ribs forward. Ujjayi breathing, inhale. And then push the hands forward. Send the ribs back, Ujjayi, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold the shape, breathe here, and open your throat more. Focus on intensifying the movement. So the ribs are still energetically moving forward. The arms still energetically move back. And you bring the breath more fully into the shape. On the next exhale, reverse it. Drop the chin, push those ribs back. And as you reach your hands forward, feel how the breath opens up a whole new area of the body. Ujjayi breath, try not to forget. Good. Rock forward to kneeling posture. In kneeling posture, interlace your hands behind your head. Open your shoulders and elbows out. And again, open the front of your spine. Ujjayi breath. Push down through your knees. And as you push down through your knees, draw your belly muscles up through your crown. You can work up a sweat just doing this one pose. The mind has to focus on the instruction. Push down through your knees, lift up through your navel. And you give all of your attention to the instructions. Good. Place your hands down on the mat, tabletop. Open your throat, open your ribs. And now inhale, lift up your left leg as high into the sky as you can. Pull that left leg open your hips, and draw a big circle with your knee. Keep breathing Ujjayi breath. 2 more times, circle with your knee. And place back down. Keep with Ujjayi, never stop Ujjayi today. Lift up the right leg. Open the hip. And then big circle with the knee, 2 times, 3 times. Nice and slow. Constant breathing. Good. Push down through all 4 limbs. So your back body feels full. Concentrate on your spine. Concentrate on making your spine feel whole and integrated. And then reach your left hand straight out in front of you. Keep reaching. Hold the pose. Then step your right foot straight back. Touch the toe to the floor. This could be the pose that you're going to hold, or you're going to lift that right leg in the air and hold. And we're going to take this breath several times. Hold the posture. And focus on your core. Your core should feel integrated from the top of your hips to the base of your ribs. Drawing the belly muscles in slightly to keep your spine integrated. Keep holding the pose. I know it's a struggle. You want to hear your mind a little bit get cranky, but realize that the body is not cranky. It's only the mind. Now, if the body's cranky, you stop the pose. But you have to discern the difference. Good, replace. Push down through all 4s again. So the back body feels full and integrated. And then reach out your right hand straight out. This already should be a fair bit of work just to keep that arm extended. A little bit of core engagement. The left toe steps back, or you lift the left leg in the air. And we hold the posture. Ujjayi breath. An awareness through your core. And that's all the posture needs to be. We want that challenge to grab your attention. Keep you right here in the present moment. A few more breaths. Good, replace. Sit back a moment and rest in child's pose. Try to keep this pose as mellow as possible. But still feel that breath moving through your system. When you're ready, you're going to come up to kneeling. Sorry, not standing, kneeling. And you're going to step your left foot forward into a low lunge shape. Maybe put a blanket under your right knee if you need it. Take a moment to find your distance. And we'll start in the hands down position first. So either those hands go on blocks, or those hands go on the floor. And then you can either lift that back leg straight, or keep that knee down on the ground. You choose. The key is that you're pushing down with your arms, looking down at your toes. When you push down with your arms, you should feel your core engaged. That's very important. Very important in Hatha Yoga is the core engagement, which helps awaken the internal energy. Then we breathe. And gently lower your chin this time. Almost like your chin was trying to touch your collarbones. They don't have to touch your collarbones. You just think about it. So it opens the back of your neck a little more. Push down with your hands so the core engages. Keep the chin slightly tucked. And now let that breath move through the body system. Okay, whatever pose you're in, you're gonna keep it with the legs. You're just gonna lift your left arm to the sky. So we're twisting and we're holding this posture here. This time, squeeze your inner legs energetically towards each other. Like there was a tiny wall under your body. You're squeezing your legs towards that tiny wall. Keep squeezing. This will build internal energy at the base of the spine. And as you squeeze the legs, pull the navel in on the exhale. Stretch your arms apart. Good. Place both hands down on the blocks or on the floor and step back, tabletop. You can just rest in child's pose or tabletop or move through a vinyasa. Exhale down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up to kneeling and step the second side, the right foot forward. So the rigor comes from holding the pose. If you're not feeling the rigor, and you want to, then you need to choose the more intense variation by keeping the leg lifted, or even adding more challenge. Hands down variation first. Push down the blocks. And to add that, again, the rigor just by pushing down. If you just kind of like lackadaisically push down, the mind becomes unpresent. And then the pose just like, I'm just hanging out for 10 breaths. But stay active. Push down instead. Good. Again, you can straighten that back leg if you'd like. Still pushing down and gently tuck your chin and breathe here. As you're breathing, you're drawing the core in and maybe pushing the pelvis towards that front heel slightly. When you decide the rigor level that you can stay attentive for, a rigor level you can stay attentive for the whole time, this is your discernment. This is called viveka. How can I stay present for the whole posture? Twist open now. How do I stay present for the whole posture? Squeeze the inner legs towards each other to engage the pelvic floor. Pull the navel in on the exhales. And let the breath stretch the arms broader apart. Let the asana do the work. You just need to show up with your mind, not lose a focus. Good. Place the hand down, step back to tabletop. You can go to child's pose and rest, or let's go forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you're going to push the floor down and open your elbows energetically apart and up. Then push the floor down again and move your thigh bones to the back of your room. As you move your thigh bones to the back of the room, try to feel the belly muscles hollowing, getting longer. Breathe and try to open the sides of your ribs. Good. Come down to kneeling. Inhale, lift up. And step your left foot forward again. This time you're going to do hands on the knee, or you're going to do arms straight in the sky. Arms straight in the sky, you can bind your hands and point your index. And again, this can be done with the back leg straight. Choose your rigor level. You know how long these holds are going to be. You need to choose rigorous enough that you're paying attention, not too rigorous that you're collapsing from the class. Now, squeeze your legs towards each other and towards the midline of your mat. Squeeze your arms together as best you can and reach up. And if they're pushing down on your knee, lift your chest. Soften your chin. You're doing great. Soften your chin and keep breathing now. Good. Place your hands together in prayer. Turn your body towards your left. All the other instructions are still maintained. Keep breathing. It's not easy. And see if you can touch your elbow to your thigh. You can skip this and touch the hand to the floor. We're going to breathe here. So finding a pose that can be stable for you. Building strong foundation in your legs. Circulate your breath. If your inhale and exhale is not long and smooth, your pose is too rigorous. Good. Place the hands down the mat. You're going to go back to tabletop and just rest your body. Child's pose and just rest the body. Or move through a plank. Down to cobra. And then rest the body. A rest pose is not an opportunity to check out from the class. It's just an opportunity to rest the body. But the mind is trying to stay vigilant. The mind is trying to stay concerned with the breath only. Even in the rigorous asanas, the mind is concerned with the breath only. Okay, our second round, we're going to lift up. And we're going to step our right foot forward this time. Again, that knee can be down. We'll extend it straight here. Hands on knee or the arms overhead. Pull the feet towards the midline. The legs, inner legs towards the midline. And as you do that, draw your navel up your spine. Squeeze the arms towards each other. And reach up if your arms are above your head. Drop your chin and lift your chest. Now we're here. Breathe, Ujjayi breath. Notice what wanes. Is it the mental attention or the body's attention? Hands in front of your heart, prayer hands. And just turn to your right. If you want, you can think about trying to get that elbow to the thigh or knee. And we hold and breathe here. All the other instructions are maintained. Smooth out your breath, whatever version of the pose you choose. This allows the mind to find equanimity regardless of circumstance. Good, hands down. Let's step back to tabletop, and you can rest in tabletop in child's pose, or we take a short flow first. Inhale forward, exhale down. Inhale cobra. Exhale, push back, child's pose. Rest your nervous system, but keep the mind active, actively watching the breath. Good. Come up and lift your knees off the ground. Walk your hands back until you're in a forward fold posture. Standing forward fold posture. Push your feet down. And if you can't push your hands down steadily, put your hands on blocks and then push your hands down. When you push down through your feet and hands, this should engage the core and your back. Then keep pushing down with your hands, but you can bend your elbows to go deeper into your pose. Everything else is maintained. Pushing down, core and back are engaged. Inhale, come up through balanced feet. Very good. Very good. Let's step our right foot back so our left foot's in front, warrior one stance. So this is slightly closed, about 45-degree angle. Feet are down. And the first version, level one versions, you're gonna put your hands on the blocks and just reach out through your crown like a straight line from your back heel. And this is a great version because your back is engaged, your core is engaged. Really great on opening the hips. But if you want to add even more intensity for the hold, you take your arms open like they're little penguin dragon wings flying. And then even more challenging is to reach those hands out, straight out in continuation of that line from your crown. That's the most challenging. Let's breathe here, whichever version you choose. With that front knee bent in warrior one. There you go, we're going there next. After that, front knee bent for now. Breathe. You never want to choose a pose that's too rigid, that's too efforting. We want the muscles to become supple, even if they're toning during the posture. Stretch energy out through your fingertips, down through your feet. Good, now hands on something, the floor, the blocks, and straighten that front leg. Bow over that front leg. Let your elbows weigh 10,000 pounds. Let your elbows weigh 10,000 pounds. Let your elbows weigh 10,000 pounds. Try to feel the weight go through the whole foot. This will protect your hamstring. Feel your ribs weigh 10,000 pounds. Let the back of your skull reach for the floor. Good. Push down, send your tailbone down through your feet and come on up. Great, nice long hold. Take a moment, just kind of shake it out for a moment. Wiggle your knees and ankles, shake your wrists. Or just stand quietly and listen. So the muscles should feel very supple and enlivened when you come out of the pose. They might be very active during, but after the pose, they're like, ah, yeah, I feel more relaxed. My joints feel like they're looser just by holding the pose. Second side. So that's how we measure our rigor level. Are we bringing enough or are we bringing too much into our pose? This is viveka. This is discernment. Okay, warrior one legs. When we choose a warrior one, we're going to be leaning over. So from our crown to our back heel feels like a straight line. Hands are on blocks, level one, and you're pushing down with those hands. Little baby dragon wings, or arms straight out. Here we go. As we get tired, the body wants to shrink. If you feel that shrinking feeling, like you're trying to almost cower out of your pose, you already chose a pose that was too hard. Choose a lighter variation that you can expand energy through. So that by breathing, you can reach. So if it's reaching down through the hands, and you can reach out through the crown, this person's getting more out of it than the person who's trying to reach their arms and is shrinking and straining. Good. Hands on the blocks. Bill, you put the hand on the coffee table ledge here. Straighten both legs and drape. Let those elbows weigh 10,000 pounds. 10,000 pounds. Keep those feet solid on the mat. Let the elbows weigh 10,000 pounds. Let the ribs weigh 10,000 pounds. So you're getting some space in that back. Grow the back of your neck and skull towards the mat. Good. Push your tailbone down through your legs. Inhale back up. Good. Step out of your posture. Shake out your limbs a moment. Now we're going to change it up and do a balancing posture. Tree pose. You're going to bring up your left foot first. You can go to the wall if you want. We're not going to put weight on the wall. We're just going to use the wall for a point of awareness with the fingertip touching today. No pressure, no body weight on the wall. We want that tenacity of mental clarity, mental focus, to be on our standing leg. So pushing down through the four corners of your foot very evenly. Giving attentiveness to your knee joint. The knee joint is not overly bent, nor is it locked straight back. You can actually feel the muscles on all sides of the leg, especially the upper leg. Bring your hands to your hips to start. So you can open the knee without opening the hips, meaning both hip points are equidistant to the short edge of your mat or forward. You're not facing the short edge. Okay, now we can just keep the hands here. The next level of balance is hands in front of the heart. Again, one hand on the wall is fine. Next level of balance is to interlock the fingers behind the head. And at this stage, we draw the navel in and push our tail down through our standing leg. Push our tail down through the standing leg. And doing this, lift these side ribs. Lift these side ribs and broaden your chest. This should get you looking out at your true eye level. This is very manageable. You're going to open your arms out in a V, extending energy up through your crown, out through your palms and fingertips. Breathe and circulate that breath. Focus on your breathing, so that the breathing can go up and down and fluctuate, but the pose stays just as alive from when you first began it. Get back in there. You're feeling some fatigue. Is it mental or is it physical? And release the asana. Shake out your knees, shake out your ankles if you want. Let's get ready for our second side. So again, these poses are slower and it requires more mental tenacity to get the rigor out of them. Bring the right foot up so the left leg is down. Find the four corners of your foot. And again, it's totally viable to just keep a hand on the wall without putting any body weight on it. This will build that ability for those ankle, calf muscles to become stabilized. And the hips, maybe open the knee. And then you do hands in front of heart. Push your tail down through your standing leg. Interlock the hands behind the skull. So you push your tail down, draw your navel, rotate the side ribs up, open across your chest, and maybe open your arms into a V. You can enter a deep state of mental clarity and focus, but it's impossible if your variation is full of wobbles. That the body can release stress, tension, just by having a mind that acts as a pure mirror, observing where you're over-efforting and dissolving. That the effort is full-bodied. You want to push on that frustration moment where you're kind of cranky with me, You're kind of frustrated with yourself, and it's right on the other edge of that, right beyond that. Right beyond that is yoga. And release the posture down. Very good. Let's step our right foot back. Bend our front knee over the heel. And open the arms out, warrior two. Look with your eyes so that your shoulders are in the same plane as your hips. So our shoulders are not closed and then we're just flinging our arm back. Shoulders and hips open and in line with this long edge of our mat. Press down through the four corners of your feet and try to open the inner thigh of your front leg. The quad wants to be so, it wants to hold and contain all of your life's woes. Go into the bone, let the skeleton structure support the muscle. So the muscle can then truly support the skeleton. That your quad is not going to be the thing that pulls you out of this posture. It's not easy. Good, straighten that leg, you did it. And hinge over Trikonasana pose. So you can go to the block, go to the shin, go to whatever you like, and stretch your right arm to the sky. And now use your eyes. Make sure the shoulders are perfectly on top of each other. We love to have that right shoulder fall forward. Shoulders perfectly on top of each other. If you can't do that, you need to lift your body up higher. And now, once the shoulders are perfectly on top of each other, make them perfectly on top or perfectly above your left leg. And we're just going to look down at our bottom hand. And then look up at our top hand. Go back and forth 2 more times. Be careful with this one, Billy. Good. Inhale, back up. Bend your front knee and place your hands on those blocks or on the floor again. You can lift your back knee or back heel, off the ground. Some of us are just going to stay right here and hold this posture. Others are going to bring the blocks or hands forward, about 1.5 feet, and then lift up, pushing down on our blocks. Back leg is parallel with the floor. And then the next stage is just to bring the hands to prayer today. You can stake them out in front of you. I think prayer is a good level. One hand or both hands can be down if we want to work on stabilizing our balance. Make sure the spine is supported. Back muscles are lifting. Core is engaging. That standing leg wants to buckle. You can put the back foot down, but stay present. Equanimous breathing. Good. Drop the back leg down and come up. Let's step out of the pose and you can shake out your limbs. Do a little wiggle. Do a little dance. Flick out the tension in your ankles. You're doing great. And just stand a moment before we do second side. With all that rigor on that left leg, do the joints, do the muscles, feel relaxed. Now if you're bound up and tight, means you worked way too hard. And if they just feel kind of the same, then that maybe means you didn't do enough. You didn't put enough attentiveness to the rigor of the asana. For me, the joints feel calm and cool, and the muscles feel soft. This is what we're looking for. Okay, let's try again. Warrior two, we've done the second side. So this time our right leg is in front. We're going to bend that knee over the heel, but press down through the four corners of our feet. Open our hip points and shoulders at the same alignment, same angle. And then try to open the entire inner right leg, right thigh. Breathe. Ooh, draw a deep breath. Calm the tension in your face. This is a great place to start. If your face is grimacing, I'm sure that right quadricep is also grimacing. Calm the tension in your shoulders. And then maybe you can calm the tension in your quad. Good. Let's straighten our front leg and hinge over. Extend your left arm up. Now use your eyes. Make sure that your shoulders are directly above each other. Not the hands, the shoulders. Then make sure the shoulders are directly over the front leg. Not falling forward or inside, and not falling back behind. Let's just turn our head as slow as we can, looking at both hands alternating. Inhale up. Bend the front knee. You're going to put your hands on the blocks. About 1.5 feet in front. We're on the floor. And lift the back leg up. So again, that back toe can touch the ground. Just wants to be straight this time. Where the back leg is trying to become parallel with the floor. We're going to push down our blocks while we push down with our foot. Or keep pushing down with the foot and bring the hands to prayer. You also have the option today to stick the arms out in front. If you're having trouble with balance, both hands should be pushing down the blocks. Breathe. Let the muscles work. The mind is just observant. Mind is really more attentive to keeping the breath fluid. Not with straining to keep our balance or straining to hold the pose. Just be done with that ideology. Let the mind just observe the body existing in the posture. And drop back. Step forward. And just feel. Notice the heart rate pumping, body temperature, your knee joints, your shoulders. Notice if the asana makes being in your body just feel more enjoyable. Down to kneeling posture. We're going to do a side plank. So we're going to give variations here. So everyone has an appropriate variation. The easiest variation is one hand on the block. And we keep, so it's left hand on the block, left knee on the floor, slightly turned out, and right knee lifted. This is going to be the easiest variation for us to hold. Okay. And obviously we would probably just remove the block. Maybe that's one challenge deeper. And then the next step is to extend the bottom leg straight. So this foot is still on top. Okay, and the next variation is going to be stack the feet together. Okay, so let's all find the version that's going to work for us so that we all can hold the pose. And we can just honor this ability for the body to be struggling. The muscles can click and they pulse back and forth, but the mind is very steady with the rhythm of the breath. Okay, if you'll do your right arm down first and choose your variation of the posture. Either way, we want to be able to look with our eyes and make sure our shoulders are stacked upon each other, just like in the triangle pose. Keep lifting your hips. Don't let them droop. Breathe. Ujjayi breath. If you have one or both legs straight, flex your toes. Try to feel your knee joint perfectly lined up, not locked, not overly bent. You want to feel that strain happening in the shoulder, but it's not pain, it's not pinching. It's just the joints and the muscles calibrating. Push down through all points of the hand. And relax down. Very good. You can go right to child's pose or exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press back. So the hand, you have the heel of the hand, the knuckle pads, and the finger pads. All those points are engaged. Second side, left side down. Choose your variation. Line up the shoulders and find your breath. Lower down. Bend your elbows. Inhale, cobra. Let's bring our elbows out in front and under our shoulders. Close your eyes even for this one. You want to relax the pelvis. Relax the pelvis and reach the toes straight back behind us. Close your eyes. And just sprout your spine out of your pelvis. So the crown just gently floats like a dandelion blossom toward the sky. This is hatha yoga too. Bring the belly muscles in so that those base ribs are not jutting forward. And find equanimity in your breathing. Keep relaxing. Keep letting the posture hold you. Keep the breath smooth. Good. Press up to tabletop and bring your left knee forward and then across the body slightly. Pigeon legs. Walk the right leg back some and send your sits bones straight down towards the earth. Send your sits bones straight down towards the earth. Good. You can stay up, so it has a little bit of a back bend, spinal extension, or walk your hands all the way out. Always sit bones towards the earth to engage the lowest belly muscles. In any variation, pull the elbows in and then down so the shoulders move away from the ears. Change your legs. Perhaps you can do this without moving your hands. Once you've changed the legs, send the sit bones down into the earth. Sit bones down into the earth. Any variation with your arms and upper body. That keeps your attention. So these calmer poses come at the end because hopefully you've got out some of your desire for that go get them. But you can still bring the same amount of presence, even though the sensation is much different. The rigor is less. Good. Roll onto your hip and bring the other leg all the way around to the front of the room, front of your mat. And let's stretch our legs out wide apart. Just give a moment for your heels to be heavy. Bend your knees a little bit if there's any more cramping. And now just drape forward. Don't reach or anything. Just sink your spine. We're turning off the effort. And you're going to reach your hands out. Maybe you can grab your toes, maybe only your shin or ankle. That's fine. Wherever you're reaching, make your arms straight, elbows straight, so they're off the leg. And broaden your shoulders so the back of your neck is open. Keep breathing steadily. It's like you're turning your mind off. Allowing for the existence of the asana to hold your attention. Not your thoughts, not your to-do list, but the asana, the sensation alone can hold your attention. Back up. Bring the leg in. Let's bring in your left leg, let's say. It's okay if you get the wrong thing. You're going to reach out with your right arm, holding something, the block, the foot, the ankle, the shin. You're going to reach your left arm up. Be careful. Turn so your shoulders, they don't have to be over each other, but they're in the same plane of verticality. Really open up our left ribs. And for many of us, this is absolutely enough just to keep those arms spread here. Others, we don't want the shoulder to round forward. If the shoulder can stay open, you can bend your right elbow and go over the top, keeping the shoulders above each other in the same plane. No efforting, just existing. The pose will open to you. Inhale up. Let's extend out the other leg. Again, starting by just reaching the left arm out and the right arm up so my shoulders are in a line, just like triangle pose. This is a great variation, please. If you can easily keep the shoulders in a line, start to take the arm over until that shoulder falls forward. If it doesn't fall forward, you'll really be able to bring the hands together and exist in the asana. Yoga is about pure existence. Pure existence in this present moment. Unbothered. Unperturbed by the mind's notions of past and future. If you're striving to make your body look like something, it's usually based on a judgment of yourself in the past to look like something in the future. And all you usually get from that is injured. Not worth it. Feel the difference in the mental landscape. Inhale back up. Place the feet on your mat and pull your navel in until you're on your back. Lift your hips up, bridge posture. Do 3 of those. Exhale down. Push with your feet so it slides the shoulders down the back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now you'll have a moment to do any posture that suits you. Maybe you'll do a twist here or happy baby, or some of us are going to do plow pose where we roll. It's like a forward fold upside down on our shoulders. Or if you like, you can even do shoulder stand, bringing the legs up over the head. So please choose a pose that feels good to you. If it's a twist, just do about 5 breaths on each side. And let's hold this for 10 breaths. Please count them to yourself. This is breath 5 for me, so maybe halfway through. And it's starting to make your way out of your pose, whatever variation you're choosing. And settling on your mat. Just exist here. Try to breathe through all of your lungs. Stretch out your limbs comfortably on your mat, taking up as much space as you need. Dissolve that sense of separateness so that you almost lose the sense of a separate body. Just existing freely. Relax the body. Unfocus yourself. Stretch your body. Press up to a comfortable seat. Thanks for practicing. Namaste.